Hello, my name is Jerry Wise, and I'm a relationship expert and the director of the Center for Self-Differentiation at Family Tree Counseling Associates in Carmel, Indiana, on the north side of Indianapolis. I do individual, marital, and family coaching, and today's video is entitled 7 Habits We Practice in Dealing with a Crazy Family of Origin. There are many people who contact me about how to cope with their family of origin. Many ask me how they can change themselves so they're healthier in spite of their family of origin, how they can recover and grow beyond family of origin dysfunction and toxicity that they experienced growing up, and also certainly in how to deal with their family of origin as adults. There are many who say, well, if your family gives you trouble or causes you emotional turmoil, just let them go. Just cut off from them. Leave them in the dust. And, in fact, many people do this. In fact, what I find, most adults choose between either continuing their enmeshment with their family of origin, that's option A, or cutting off, that's option B. Most do not choose the mature option, or I think the healthier self-differentiation option of staying connected while truly being yourself, which I think reaps the most amount of growth and the most amount of health and stability for an adult in relationships and in healing their past with their family of origin. And my concern, of course, is that those who say, just leave your family in the past, don't worry about it. The problem is your inner family of origin goes with you, even if you cut off from them. And I think that's what a lot of people don't recognize. They believe out of sight, out of mind, out of heart, or out of my innards, or out of my emotional field. And that's not really what happens. And I think it's more likely that, again, if we cut off from our family of origin, many people tend to solidify the problems that their family of origin have and solidify them and cement them within them for the rest of their lives and don't heal them. Remember, in family systems way of thinking, cutoff is as immature as enmeshment. They're just flip sides of the same coin. So why do I focus so much on family of origin work? Because I have found that changes people make in therapy, in coaching, in their life, in reading, in learning, the changes people make many times tend to be either superficial or adaptive and not very core-centered, and are often, the benefits are reversible. In other words, they make strides or changes, but then they find themselves falling back into old patterns, recycling, and those types of things. And what I mean by this is when trouble comes or anxiety increases, or when we're faced with highly charged emotional situations, or we interact with our family of origin, we tend to retreat to a lower level of self-differentiation and a lower level sense of self. And that's why I mean the changes are kind of superficial. In other words, if there are genuine or real changes are made, we don't reverse, we don't go back. If they're more adaptive or superficial, then we can easily more recycle or fall back into the same problems we've had before. If you can be you and manage yourself while staying connected to your family of origin, you will do it everywhere. Family of origin work and family of origin successes extend to all of our relationships and our basic sense of self. While other kinds of changes and other kinds may not be so durable. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't any other types of improvements that we can make. Certainly learning how to be assertive, learning negative messages so that we can focus on positive messages about ourselves. All of those tools are helpful. It's what I've often found is that if we only stay at that level, then we're more vulnerable to that reversal of improvement. And we fall back into our old level of self-differentiation, which we obtained from our family of origin, grew up, and maintained it as adults. It hasn't been changed. It's more important that we change that level of self-differentiation as adults to a newer level, because that's not reversible. It sticks. As a family of origin expert and a family systems expert, I teach these 7 practices or habits to clients, and of course many more habits and practices as well, but here are some that might help you more immediately. There are more. Other habits that I'm not going to talk about on this video include avoiding and exiting triangles, avoiding and managing reactivity, avoiding and managing cutoffs. Those are some other habits that are very important. So let me discuss briefly the 7 habits. I do mean briefly because this is a short video, so I'm only going to be able to touch the surface, but I still think they can be of help. And for those who grew up in dysfunctional families, the first habit is to lower your expectations of your family of origin. Most adults who grew up in dysfunctional families have a distorted view of what normal is. So they have a distorted view of what they can expect from their family of origin. And often they expect way too much and keep getting disappointed time and time again. You are probably living with illusions about your family of origin, about who they can be, who they should be, who they need to be, who we need them to be for us. The bad news is this, that they can't live up to those expectations, and that it's important that we lower them. The good news is this, they don't have to or need to live up to your expectations for you to be happy and for you to grow in terms of self-differentiation. Their changing is not required for you to change. The goal is for you to change, not to make them change so you can change. And that's often how people view their dysfunctional families. Many grew up seeing the family paradigm, and they get imprinted, and what they get imprinted with their family of origin as what is normal. And into adulthood believe their parents are sane, able to be healthy, able to be loving and caring and understanding, and are capable of doing all of these fabulous things, etc. We don't want to give up our illusions about our family of origin because we believe we still need them to meet our emotional needs. Or we still need them as parents, or we still need them for their support, their love, for their nurturing and their guidance. And for adulthood and self-differentiation, that is not required. And so, but our immature selves, the inner child and the little people that are in us, our inner child within us, still want them to fulfill those roles. And we don't want to give that up. That's an illusion we don't want to give up. The only problem is it just continues to make us crazy as they are, as the family of origin is. We stay stuck in that craziness. Secondly, think of your family as incurably crazy. Now, I know I'm talking in extremes, and not every family is like this, but I'm going to use these terms just to try to help you, shake you out of some ways of thinking. Think of your family as incurably crazy. How would you treat someone who is incurably crazy? You would be understanding. You'd probably be more patient. You would not take their words personally. You'd probably be kind of helpful to them. You'd learn to adapt around their distorted worldview. When you discuss something with your family and they are not supportive or not understanding, or redirect you to their own needs and not yours, tell yourselves, well, that's normal for crazy people to act like that. Why would they expect anything different? And again, it takes the personal element out of it, because I think so often as adult children, we approach family in a very personal way, so that mom and dad's unhealth is a personal attack on us. And it really isn't. It's their unhealth. And we take it very personally, as though we are not worthy of their love. Well, maybe they have a very limited capacity in their craziness to be able to love. And so coming to accept that reality is an important part of finding yourself. Thirdly, stop indulging your reactivity to your family of origin. There are lots of steps that we can take in dealing with reactivity. Often we are reactive in other relationships because we're still reactive in our family of origin. When you feel reactive, stop. Do nothing. That's at least a first step. Now, I think there's a lot more we can learn about reactivity, but at least the thing we can do is begin to stop. Because if we are reactive, we are now at one with the toxic paradigm and the toxic emotional field going on. So first we have to do is to stop. That's the first step. There's an old saying, and it's this: don't just stand there stupid, do something, right? For family systems work, I like this advice better. Don't just do something stupid, stand there. In other words, don't just be reactive. That's stupid. Do nothing. That's better. You'll be less likely to get caught up in it. You may not know what to do in terms of what's a healthier or more mature response at this point, but it starts with stopping the reactivity. And you can say inside, I don't know what to do, but I know what I'm doing is not working. So I want to stop that. Then I can go learn what I might be able to do. So, practice doing nothing. Don't get engaged. Identify later what's being triggered in you and work to resolve the trigger. That's the best way to deal with reactivity. Fourthly, stop trying to change or improve your family. It's not your job. The bad news is they probably won't change. Ever. The good news, as I have said, is that it isn't necessary for them to change, for you to be you, for you to grow, for you to be happy. So we have to give up the illusion that we can change or fix them or mold them into the parents we always wanted or the brother and sister we always wanted or needed. We don't have to do that. We're adults now, and we have to give up that illusion. And we can accept them for who they are, not who we've always wanted them to be. That's our old inner child work that we need to resolve. Fifthly, stop seeking understanding from your family. Being yourself or being self-differentiated does not mean you need your family to understand you or fully accept you. We often hold out being ourselves. We hold out from being ourselves because we fear the family will not understand us or accept us. So we choose not to be us, thinking, well, we'll never get that understanding or acceptance, so I need to change my parents or change my sibling so they can one day understand or accept my change of being me. That's a treadmill that we never can, that's a treadmill that we need to get off of, I guess is the best way to say it. We need to get off that illogical, irrational treadmill. because it doesn't work that way. Sixthly, stop going to an empty ATM for cash. Give up your desire for your needs to be met by your family of origin. Often we look to our parents to become the parents we always needed and wanted. We look to siblings to be the brother and sister we always wanted and needed. We yearn for the Norman Rockwell, for those of you who are more my age, for the Norman Rockwell perfect family gathering, what else do we say? The Leave It to Beaver family, who's the Cosbys on the Cosby Show, the Huxtables, that's who they are. That perfect family that everyone yearns for. It's just too painful for us to give up this search because it means the end of our illusions and beliefs that our parents and family can meet those needs. So we keep going back time after time to draw emotional cash from an empty ATM, and we walk away empty-handed. Some adults end up walking away so empty-handed they become homeless because they don't go out and search and take care of themselves. They just keep going back to the ATM and not getting any money. We wait for the next opportunity to try to make a withdrawal again. We have to accept the ATM is empty. Let's go to an ATM that is possible for us to take a withdrawal from. 7. Given who your family really is, ask yourself, what type of relationship do you really want? Or, being the adult that you are and have no emotional needs to be met by your family of origin, or no immature needs to be met by your family of origin, what type of adult relationship do you want with your family of origin? How often would the adult in you want to see them? What do you have in common with them as an adult? What can you share, or in what ways can you interact with them as an adult as to who you are? What would you like to do with them? How would you like to interact with them? Can they be a resource for your family history, archaeology that you do, to find out more about your emotional functioning? Can you observe them rather than absorb them? There are lots of ways you can interact with family that would be a healthier way than to going back to them as an ATM and trying to get a withdrawal for yourself. If you'd like to learn more about the habits of dealing with your family of origin or gaining a true sense of self, contact me for online or in-office work. If you email me, I'll send you a complete listing of all my free videos and YouTube videos, explain the online process, explaining fees, and answering any questions that you have. There's no pressure. I'm very easy to work with. Check out Angie's list for lots of recommendations. Join our YouTube channel on YouTube, the Family Tree Counseling YouTube channel. I hope you'll share this video with your social media and see the screen for contact information. And I want to thank you very much for watching this video today, and have a great day.